If you are not familiar with the woman in this picture, don't feel bad because I wasn't familiar with her until I was informed of who she was and more importantly, what she did. This woman's name is Sabrina Claudio, and she's apparently this, I guess you can say Latin American pop slash R&B singer. Never heard of her, never heard her music, and to be honest, after hearing this story, or what I'm about to tell you, I don't want to hear anything from her. Now, before I get in on her, remember she had that's her main account that has the verified check mark, the one that people know about. But what people didn't know about until today is that this chick had a whole nother Twitter account dedicated to bashing, and I do mean badly, and trolling black women. And as I read through this article, you are going to hear some of the things that she had to say about black women. Let me get started. I already know what you're thinking. Who is this woman? I admit I had no idea until I looked her up on Spotify and realized that I was following her. I assume it's because she featured on a track with one of my favorite artists, Duckworth. But after listening to a few of her own tracks, I realized, damn, this woman is super talented. The woman is Sabrina Claudio, a 21-year-old half Puerto Rican and half Cuban alternative R&B artist from Miami, and if you just listen to her voice, you might assume that she's a black woman. But according to Vibe, she created an entirely separate Twitter account that wants you to make no mistake that she is definitely not one of us, especially if you're a deep brown. The All To You songstress posted offensive messages about black women that included things like, "It must suck to be a black girl with no booty." She also made several comments about dark-skinned women being unattractive, all of which have now been deleted since a fire has been lit under her ass. Last night, she posted an apology on Twitter that I doubt will land with our demographic, repackaging her racism as past ignorance. She said, "I am deeply sorry for the insensitive words I've used. Some of the things you are seeing are true while others aren't. I realize my past ignorance is affecting people I care so much about, and I am so sorry. I've made mistakes, and while I cannot take them back, I will learn from them. Sabrina." I am tired of these culture voices disparaging us black women. As you can tell, this article was written by a black woman. Us black women while colonizing our melanated gifts for profit. Other users felt the same way, lighting up Sabrina's Twitter and Instagram accounts with a double dose of shade and history of systemic racism. One of her old fans on Instagram wrote, "African American women deserve all the recognition in the world. It is disgusting and shameful that they are being put down when the world would not be where it is today without them. I am just so fucking disappointed that you will basically spit on the names of these beautiful women, some who supported you and made your career possible. It is straight up disrespectful. Shake my head." See, and this is the thing right here. She knew who buttered her bread and her biscuits, or mostly lined her pockets. It sounded like she had a huge black fan base. She didn't have a black fan in me, because like I said, I didn't know who this chick was before then. But you want to know what's so funny? I want to know how many people are going to go in on her the same way they went in on Stephon Clark, a person who was dead. I mean, y'all can go in on her as much as possible because she's still alive. Let her feel the slings and arrows. If you're going in on her, fine. If you went on Stephon Clark and you don't go in on her, then that shows where your outrage really truly was at, and how much you're still willing to give someone like her a pass. But I digress. Let me continue. Some of the tweets who respond to her said, "Womp womp, we have yet another racist, non-black, white, Hispanic. Hashtag Sabrina Claudio, disappointed but not surprised." I don't know why so many people say they're disappointed. Not surprised, I can understand it, but don't be so disappointed. They have a history of lining themselves up with white people. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if this chick has considered herself to be white on the census. Sabrina Claudio is one of those Latina girls that hate black women but also tries to imitate them. LMAO. It says, "I'd also like to point out that she has no history of working with black female artists, but she's definitely had some tracks with black male artists like Khalid, Duckworth, and Black. I implore them to stop working with her. None of them would be where they are without dark-skinned black female artists like Lauryn Hill, India Arie, and going way back to Nina Simone." Now, knowing that that this woman has never worked with a bunch of with black female artists, but made an entire Twitter account to bash black women, and it seems that she has a huge black female base. That says something. It says a whole lot without really saying much, though. But that's pretty much the article right there. This, like I said, she won't be the first, and she definitely won't be the last. Like I said, she makes music to appeal to a certain audience, but she made an entire pretty much disrespect that same base that helped get her to wherever she is. Like I said, I never heard of her before today. But like I said, I'm not disappointed because nowadays you have to almost expect stuff like this from people like her. No more should black people be surprised at stuff like this. We don't really have no room to be surprised or really so much disappointed. Just go into the shit expecting it. But it's that thing where we feel you have to extend out a hand and welcome everybody into your circle and just have to be welcoming of everybody. But you can't, especially nowadays, you just can't. And she's no different. And that so-called apology that she's giving out, that's not going to fly either. Because I would like to know, because one thing they didn't say in the article is how long has she had this account? It sounds like she's had it for a while. It doesn't sound like she just created it. So it sounds like to me, she created a whole troll account. Just because. Just to do something like this. Like, where does she have the time? I thought she was supposed to be making music. Where does she have the time to create a troll account and just talk shit? I don't get it. There's many ways to be petty, but she chose this way. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments.